Mark shared a very impactful vision for our future and what we need to do in the next 11 months. To seize these opportunities, we'll be harnessing a strong chamber that is capable and ready to produce these targeted results through your leadership, the involvement of our members, and our important coalition partners across the region. Over the last 7 to 10 years, hundreds of chamber volunteer leaders and a highly skilled professional staff have joined forces to ready our chamber for the task at hand. This morning, I'm excited to provide you with a state of your chamber that captures the efforts of these two groups to champion a nationally recognized high-performing chamber. At your places in your file folder is a booklet of historical data that presents the chamber's performance in recent years. I ask that you get that out now as it mirrors the PowerPoint slides I will share. Every business in this room depends on a loyal and invested-minded customer base to execute its business model. Over the past 9 years, the chamber has transformed the positive commitment level of its members to the organization, moving from an annual retention rate of 71% in 2008 to 81.6% retention rate in 2017. The goal, as Patrick mentioned, is to continue to drive this retention rate upward to 83 to 84% in 2018, building on the 10% growth we've recognized in member loyalty. A defining feature of a successful Metropolitan Chamber of Commerce is net membership growth. Realizing that result starts by minimizing the number of annual member cancellations. 9 years ago, we were facing a serious challenge with drops of 600 members in 2008 and 500 members in 2009. The chamber only dropped 282 members in 2017 and achieved net membership growth of 45 members. In 2018, we are targeting year-end net membership growth of 100 plus members and plan to replicate that performance annually over the years ahead. An involved chamber member is one that gains the highest return on the value of their membership investment. 1,184 of the chamber's approximately 1,600 members are small businesses with 50 or fewer employees. Gaining this member's engagement, as both Mark and Patrick mentioned, close to their place of business or where they reside is an important value prerequisite. In 2017, we launched 4 local area chambers within 30 minutes of the bulk of our small business members' zip codes. The program was extremely successful, with 560 small business members, or 47% of our small business membership, participating in 120 tailored offerings. More than 3,070 small business principals or members used local area chambers in the past year. Overall, member participation in the chamber reached an all-time high of 10,718 chamber members involved with our programs, meetings, and events. The goal is to drive this participation level to above 12,000 in 2018. The chamber is effectively growing its top-line revenues with its first $5 million plus budget achieved this past year. Increasing revenue gains in our core programs, membership revenues, and Accelerate Greater Charleston 2 commitments allowed the chamber to grow to this level. 2018's budget will also be above the $5 million threshold, with focused plans to move the budget to $6 million over the next 5 to 7 years. The chamber has consciously changed the type of member it's recruited in recent years. Businesses from rapidly growing sectors that are doing well have become an important part of our sales team pipeline. The average level of member sale has increased from $480 to $800 in the last 9 years. This represents a 67% increase in the base value of members being sold annually. Accelerate Greater Charleston was a bold move by many in this room to invest in 2 region growth pillars, talent and advocacy, that are co-contributors to our region's ability to scale to its full potential. 102 investors committed $4.1 million to this regional advancement campaign during its original 5-year investment period. The true test of any effort like this is the second campaign. We just completed our second 3-year campaign in 2017 that saw 120 investors committed an additional $200,000 per year to the Chamber's workforce development and local and state advocacy efforts. The Chamber's Leadership Circle investors commit a minimum of $3,000 in membership dues annually. These members are responsible for 79% of the Chamber's overall dues and are retained at a 91% level. Over the last 8 years, Leadership Circle membership investments have increased by 30%. The growth in the actual number of Leadership Circle members have increased by 37%. Fuel in the tank drives every business organization's growth. We've built a stellar membership recruitment and retention team at the Chamber to assure this outcome. Over the past 2 years, new member sales have increased by $75,000 over historical patterns. That represents a 27% increase in new members sold. We are projecting an additional 14% increase in new member sales in 2018, equating to an additional $50,000 in sales above traditional marks. We're now on equal footing, as Patrick mentioned, with major metropolitan chambers and markets 3 to 4 times our size and members sold annually. I want to close the State of the Chamber presentation by thanking every volunteer leader and staff member who's been shoulder to the wheel in dynamically evolving our Chamber over the past 7 to 10 years. It's been a great journey and one we're still pursuing daily. Again, thank you for believing in what we do and supporting us in the way that you do. 2017 had numerous great accomplishments, many of which Patrick, Mark, and I have already shared with you. There are 3 additional wins that we want to highlight in greater detail and allow you to hear from a Chamber member on what it's meant to them and their efforts in our business community or region. In March, we launched our local area chambers. We knew we needed to develop a way to engage members on important issues that affect their local community while giving them the opportunity to connect and build relationships with fellow business members, all within 15 to 30 minutes of their place of business or their residence. And we did just that. We've talked about the 120 tailored programs that were offered through our local area chambers and the 3,070 members that participated. All that work was powered by 4 member-led steering councils. Here today representing Metro Chamber East is Melissa Capps. Melissa is the Director of People Services at Wild Dunes Resort and has served as the chair of the East Steering Council since the launch of that effort. Melissa's passionate about the effort and has truly been an energizing force in its first year success. I'd like to invite Melissa to come to share why local area chambers are making a powerful difference.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak with you this morning about the local area chambers. As we've heard, in 2017, it was a very big year for the local area chambers. It was also the first year of the local area chambers, and I say that because anytime you implement a new concept, one of the biggest challenges is creating awareness. And it's so inspiring to look back at the past year knowing that over 3,000 members attended our programming and events. With the support of the Chamber, the 4 steering councils worked really hard to generate this awareness through informative and fun events in the region. I really want to thank all 4 councils for their hard work and dedication over the past year. And I sincerely want to thank all of you for your participation and engagement in our local area programming. This level of participation really indicates the true value and need of not only being informed of the local issues impacting your business, but also being able to build relationships with individuals in your areas. I know all 4 steering councils, as well as the event attendees, maybe even some of you, could share a multitude of examples regarding the impact that the local area chambers have had. These examples would range from new business deals they've acquired, staying informed on local issues, working through an array of business challenges, which are all really great things. For me personally, it's really been that relationship component that's kept me motivated to stay engaged. The connections I've made, the friendships I've gained, and the meaningful conversations that I've had over this past year is what I'm truly motivated about. I'm so impressed with the year 1 success that we've had, and I'm excited to see the enhancements and evolutions in 2018. I really would encourage all of you to find your motivation to stay engaged and get involved in the local area chambers and to trickle that motivation down to your teams and colleagues. The first step is really showing up. It's really that easy. So I want to thank you again for the opportunity to speak with you a little bit this morning about the local area chambers and for the support of the chamber for this initiation.
Melissa, thank you for your leadership. And one of our breakout sessions today, you'll not only get to learn more from Melissa, but also her 3 local area council chairs as we talk about the future of that program. You know, Patrick and Mark pointed to a constant drumbeat our region's been focused on with regard to funding and improving our infrastructure. We all understand that need for quality infrastructure is essential to economic competitiveness and our quality of life. The Charleston Metro Chamber played a leading role in one of the biggest headlines of the year, the passage of the State Infrastructure Funding Bill. The passage of this bill is the result of more than 5 years of rallying and coalition building among business organizations with a strong commitment to secure infrastructure funding. The bill will provide a critical $630 million per year in new funding for road expansion and maintenance in the state of South Carolina. It's also important to note, and I hope that you express your appreciation to our state legislators. 26 of the 28 tri-county delegation voted to override the governor's veto. A remarkable move that would not have occurred without dedicated lobbying on behalf of our chamber and other chambers across the state. From a regional perspective, chamber lead campaigns have resulted in voters in all 3 counties approving dedicated sales tax funding for infrastructure. These are significant wins driving towards quality infrastructure that deserves celebration, but no pun intended, is not the end of the road. The Chamber's Infrastructure Visioning and Business Advocacy Committees will continue to advocate to fund and advance priority projects like completion of the Mark Clark Extension, Low Country Rapid Transit, and Glenn McConnell Extension. Leading our Business Advocacy Committee and Chamber Chairman-elect is Melanie Hammond-Trace. Melanie is a partner at Tideline CPA Group, truly understands the importance of infrastructure, and she's going to talk about that with all of you. Please welcome Melanie to the stage.
Good morning. Really feel honored and privileged to be part of this chamber and serving this year as the chairman of the Business Advocacy Committee. When I consider everything that the chamber does to advance our region, to me, advocacy is number 1. It's critical to the community and our politicians to know the opinions of our business community. Our region has experienced great economic success, and to maintain our competitive edge, we must continue to express a collective view of the business community. As has been stated, infrastructure has been on the top of everybody's mind. Efficiently moving people and goods is the key to our economic competitiveness and our quality of life. For this reason, the State Infrastructure Funding Bill was a priority on our agenda for 2017. The passage of this bill was a huge victory, and I'll say that again, it was so big, it was huge. A couple of facts to support that. This was the first increase to the motor user fee since 1980, so it took 40 years to get an increase. It moved us from the bottom of the pack based on per capita road funding, and now we are more in line with our neighboring states. It's estimated that this funding will raise $633 million a year. This will make our roads safer, more efficient at moving goods, our employees arriving to work, and our customers making it to our businesses. Funds are meant to make and earmarked to make vital repairs and improvements, widen roads, and replace our out-of-date bridges. Let's be clear about this. This funding will not fix all of our problems, but it will make significant improvement. With this state funding, along with the local funding that's been generated in our 3 counties from dedicated sales tax, that will speed our progress to build and improve the roads and bridges in our region that we so greatly need. This was not a one-year effort. We've been working on this for several years, and it required a lot of diligence from a lot of people to keep this front and center on the minds of our state leaders. I'd just like to take a moment to recognize the Chamber and its effort for advocating for this infrastructure funding. At the center of that effort was our Infrastructure Vision Committee and the Business Advocacy Committee. So thank you. Also, front and center was our state lobbyist, George Ramsey. He spent hours upon hours at the State House working with fellow business groups across our state to make sure that your voice was heard. So thank you. And finally, I want to thank each one of you for making the phone calls to our legislators to push them to take action. It really does matter. They need to hear from you, to hear your support, to help them rise to the challenge. And we're going to need your continued support. The next challenge is without a doubt right ahead of us. So thank you to you all.
Melanie captured something that was so important throughout that process, and that was us staying in the game long term. A lot of these issues are not going to get fixed in one legislative session, by one county council vote, or by one city council vote. So thank you for staying with us, and as Mark indicated, as Melanie indicated, when you get that indicator from our lobbying team to make that communication, write that letter, talk to that legislator, it makes a huge difference. So thank you for doing that. When talking with members, another significant challenge that is almost always mentioned is the need for talent. This need is ever growing, with companies like Boeing, Volvo, Mercedes, and many others calling the Charleston region home. The Chamber is working with our business community and schools to ensure our students graduate with the skills needed to come to work for you. One of the ways we achieve this is through our Career Academies program. Career Academies are programs within our high schools that expose students to careers available in our community in high-demand fields. We have implemented Career Academies in partnership with our 3 largest public schools on a regional basis. The academies focus on developing the skills employers are demanding, including teaching students hard and soft skills, working in teams, problem solving, critical thinking, and hands-on learning. Today we have more than 60 academies and 22 high schools throughout our metropolitan area. In the specific focal areas of STEM, business, health science, hospitality, and culinary, as well as computer science. Career academies are highly successful when business leaders are involved working alongside and with teachers to help students understand the relevancy of what they're learning in the classroom and how they'll use that in an actual job in our community. Today, we're fortunate to have more than 150 business partners as Career Academy partners. And I want to thank you if you're one of those, and if you're not, we certainly want to get you involved in the upcoming academic year. 5 years ago, Career Academies didn't exist in our region. Now we have one of the largest programs in the United States and are a national leader. All a testament to our superintendents, our school leaders, the business community's involvement, and the great partnerships between those folks that we have in our region. The impact of this program is astonishing. We're meeting the needs of our business community, but even greater, we're changing the lives of our students and the future of their families. Chad Vell, who is the Work-Based Learning Partnership Coordinator for Charleston County School District, has the privilege to see this work firsthand. I'd like to invite Chad to share with us the power of Career Academies in our schools.
Morning, y'all. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you. What an amazing chamber we have. What a great community we have. My role in the district, as Brian mentioned, is the Work-Based Learning Partnership Coordinator, and I tell people I get to be this person that connects students with internships, job shadowing opportunities, and ways that they can see and confirm or even eliminate the career pathway they've chosen while they're in high school. So I want to thank you and say I'm going to just have some brief remarks. But first, I have to say thank you to Robin and Susie and Mary, the amazing team that I get to work with daily that make it possible for us to make these connections and for their career academies to really come to fruition and fulfill their potential. So thank you guys. And I also want to highlight a common skills and competency report that was just published. Laura, thank you for everything on that. That's the best tool personally I've seen in our superintendent degrees, and everybody that's seen it thinks that's the best tool to communicate what parents need to know as they make decisions as their students matriculate in our schools from K through 12 and beyond. Also, of course, the Accelerate Greater Charleston Scholarships, Youth Apprenticeship Program, which is national leading and amazing press. If you don't know, on February 3rd, they're doing a information session at Trinity Tech. So probably over 1,000 students can come and learn with their families about this amazing opportunity to get work, to earn and learn in over 100 companies in our region while they earn credit at Trinity Tech. And it blows my mind how far we've come with that program specifically. And of course, career academies where ideas come into action. You know, the magic that I get to see in the classroom and working with the Career Academy partners is that students, with their natural curiosity, their natural skills, get to see the relevance. And through those relationships, they get to create those seamless pathways in their mind and see themselves in 8th grade at a small classroom in maybe a rural community in our area, and start to believe that they can be the person that's hired by a global company like Mercedes or Volvo or Boeing or so many others. And those are just manufacturers. You can name computer software companies. And I mean, there's so many opportunities in our community, more than many other places, as we're fully aware. But they get to see themselves through these relationships that career academies create. And then, of course, take that deeper dive. And perhaps it's an internship, or perhaps it's just a single-day job shadow. But those experiences change our community's future. Because that's what you drew from when you made the decision to become an architect or a car salesman or create chemicals that change the world. So the unmistakable return on investment in career academies is just that. We have to invest in that as a region, and I thank you for the opportunity to work with the Chamber, amazing professionals. On behalf of all 4 school districts, thank you.
Chad, thank you. I think we all know that we have both a moral and an economic imperative to prepare our future young people for great career opportunities. And career academies allow us to do that. We've built that bridge between our education and business communities. We're in partnership. So thank you for all your efforts. And Chad, we appreciate your leadership with Charleston County Schools. Thank you, Melissa, Melanie, and Chad. These are just 3 of the tremendous accomplishments achieved over the course of 2017. The Chamber staff will now present you with our 2017 annual report and our 2018 business priorities. This piece is an outstanding snapshot of our major wins and a look ahead at what we aim to do in the year in front of us. I'd ask for you to take a look at that over the weekend to really get a feel for where the Chamber is going to be going in 2018. We're going to now take a 15-minute break, but before breaking out, we're going to meet back up in individual room sessions. There are 4 sessions we're going to concentrate on: local area chambers, a review and look ahead, common skills and high demand. Chad mentioned that outstanding report. Laura Varna is going to present what 48 employers in our region in multiple sectors said are the most critical skills for entry-level employees. Elevating housing attainability, Melanie Stith is here with Roper St. Francis. We're going to drill down into some of the numbers that Patrick shared and Mark shared on how critical that is. And then we have 3 gifted futurists that are going to look at what our region looks like in the year 2030 and what our chamber will need to be prepared to do to lead at that time. To determine what session you're in, please look at the back of your name tag for your session assignment. There's signage and staff on hand to help direct you to the appropriate session. The meeting rooms are outside of this room on either side. We'll reconvene for a quick report out from each session before closing our program this morning at 11:30. Enjoy your break and connecting with fellow business leaders, and in 15 minutes we'll start our breakout sessions.